Okay, I see a yes, a yes. Going to wait on the few others. All right, looks like everybody's ready. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so we've hopefully, if you've not already opened Scratch, you can click on the link there if you have the presentation open. We've kind of already been through those things, so I'm just going to jump ahead. So we're going to go over two different kinds of features. The first one we're going to look at is the broadcast feature. So the broadcast method is not always the most efficient way to make sprites communicate, but really short conversations like what we just came up with is really easy to do using a broadcast. So after each sprite talks, it's going to broadcast a message that lets the other sprite know that it's its turn to speak. If you want to view an example of that, this is what we're going to be creating here in just a minute. I'm going to play it right quick. Maybe. So this is an example of kind of what we're going to do. So that's kind of it. I'm going to have to turn the dog around. I can't deal with him talking to the dog's rear end. So let's go ahead and do our setting and our sprites. So we're going to take about 5 minutes and pick our background and your two characters. And then when you're done, if you want to jump on into the block, you can. So coming back to our Scratch, you would just click Create. You can use Scratch the Cat if you want to, or you can pick something else. And so I will quickly, if you need me to stop, you can. A lot of you are probably already familiar with this, but you're going to load your sprites over here. So there's a little choose a sprite button. At the end, I'm going to show you how you can upload a sprite from the internet and have a conversation between like two historical figures. But for right now, we're just going to use the library. So I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes to poke around. I'm going to do it with you. I don't even know if I want to use a cat and dog this time. I want to go with the squirrel. And oops, forgot to click animals. A ghost. That would be a good one. Where'd he go? I want to use the ghost. He was kind of cool. And then backdrop is just going to be your setting. So I want mine to be outdoors. I want mine to be in the woods. Okay. So as you're going through and creating yours, like for right now, my ghost is like all on top of my squirrel. Just remember the directionality. You can change the XY axis. And so I can move my squirrel over. I got to go to costumes. No. Hello, friend. No, I don't. I did negative 150, scoots him up all the way over on the y-axis, and then you just have to click on your other sprite. I think I want him to be like 150. Whoa, I did the wrong one. Command Z, that sucker. Let's see, where's my... Come back down, friend. Wrong one. And he's a little too high for me, so I'm going to take him down to like a -7. He's still too high. I think I want him to be like a -90. A little too low. Oh, he could be in the trees. Might take him back up. I can't make up my mind, y'all. Let's see. There we go. And when you have your two characters where you want them and your background, if you will just let me know. Oh, I printed off these blocks so I wouldn't have to go back and forth. Each session, I'm getting a little smarter about how to go a little faster. Okay, I've got a yes. Oh, that's earlier. Sorry. And just let me know if you have any questions. You can just unmute if you need to. There's not many of us here, but. I'm going to split screen with you guys right quick so that you can see. both presentations. There we go. All right, Emanuela is done. Done. All right. Wait on a few more. Catherine, remind me again what grade you were in. Remind me again what grade you're in.
7th.
7th grade. Gotcha. And we have London. What grade are you in?
6th.
Okay, awesome. And I think one more I didn't know. I've already talked to Ethan. Emanuela, what grade are you in?
I'm in 6th grade.
Okay, awesome. Done, done, and done. I think everybody's about done. So now we're ready to do our code for our sprites. So if I start with my squirrel, you want to make sure that that's the sprite you're on, because that's what it's going to code. So over on the left, and I don't know if you're how visible that is. I was trying to make it as big as I could. So we're going to start with our controls of when the flag is clicked. And then we are going to do our so I know it's weird because it says looks, but it's still a look because we haven't put sound to it yet. But we're going to do say hello here. And then we're going to click on a broadcast button, which is in your events. So we're going to drag over here and do broadcast. I don't think it's going to know that that's dog and ghost until we give the ghost something. So I'm going to go ahead and do my ghost. We'll do one for my ghost. Oh, it's got to be when received. Sorry. When I receive. I wonder why it doesn't say squirrel and dog. Somebody might need to mute. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish out the code on him first. There we go. Say. Keep clicking on the wrong thing. Oh, Lord, we got all kinds of, I got to fix everything. Hang on. Okay, just stop, my friends, my furry animal friends. All right, so now let's see if this works. Actually, I'm gonna put ghost. All right, so I created a new message. This is going to be 3. This is going to be squirrel 3. So you got to click create new message. A little bit different than the old version. All right. Okay, so that was it. You had to create the new message. All right, so I know I went through that kind of fast. If you need help with any of that, let me know. But when you go to broadcast, you're just going to have to name the message because, again, it's a computer and you're telling it exactly what to do. So on this code for my squirrel, say hello for 2 seconds and then broadcast ghost 2. That broadcast is almost like saying, and then go to ghost 2 for their code. So now when I receive ghost 2, so when I get the go ahead, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to bounce it back to squirrel 3. And you could name it whatever you wanted to make it easy for you. It doesn't matter what you name it. I was just giving it numbers. So let me know if you need help with that. And when you feel good about that, just let me know done. And I will show you how to use a different method for coding variables. Again, let me know if any of that was confusing. Oh, I guess I need to put the chat up just so I can make sure I know when everybody's done. Hi, Wyatt. How are you? Wyatt, if you'll need the presentation, I'm going to throw it in the chat. You may want to wait just a minute to get started on our next broadcast method. Now, if you really got creative, you could change the sprite. We might have time to get to that today. We might not. So that the squirrel like did something or he moved or he jumped or, you know, instead of just 2 characters standing still, you can add them in costumes to make them do different things. But I'm not going to go into that yet. I was trying to keep it simple first. So again, if you'll just type done in the chat or got it or unmute and let me know. that you're good, and then we will go home. All right, I've got Catherine's done. And Catherine, if you want to go ahead to the variable method, you can either, if you just really like what you have, you can save, you can just delete your code, open up a new project, whatever you want to do. I'm going to say, while we're waiting, I'm going to save this to broadcast practice. So broad, here we go. File and save. The good thing about saving projects and coming back to them is if you like decided you wanted to submit a project for class using this, or, you know, oh yeah, I did that one time, then you can just go and change your sprites and all your code is already there. Are the rest of you guys good for me to go on, or you still need a little bit more time to play around with it? All right, done. All right. All right, I'm going to keep moving in the interest of time just because I have a Central Cabarrus meeting at 12. So now what we're going to do, like I said, you can give this a name. I'm going to do file and new. I'm just going to save this in case I want to come back to it. Or you can just wipe your code out to do the variable method. So the variable method uses a variable to trigger the other sprite to talk. So after they get that variable, it's going to change it by 1, and then it's going to recognize when it needs to begin speaking. So an example of that here, just so you'll won't think it looks much different, but let me click a. So if you see up at the top, it's Talker 3, Talker 4. It looks a lot the same. Okay, so what we are going to do, if you want to pick new sprites, you can. I'm going to pick some new sprites right quick. If you want the code, it is right there. It's going to be a little different, but you're not going to notice it's not as many blocks. It's all one. So we'll go into that. Let me get my sprites picked out. Kind of digging the Halloween vibe. I wonder if I searched. Okay, we'll do a bat. Sorry, cat. And let's see, I think I'll do a bat. A skeleton, he's kind of cool. So then we just need to get him set back up. I think I need to move him over to like -150. And then set my backdrop. That's all I get. We're going to keep it with the spooky woods. I feel like my bat needs to be like up in the tree. Maybe a little higher. All right, he's just not moving like I want. There we go, my friend. All right. So the blocks are over on the side. So we're going to start with when it is clicked. Oh, well, I was trying earlier. I was trying earlier and my computer kept freezing. So then I thought, well, maybe I need to, but you're right. They're working now. They weren't earlier. You know what? I want my skeleton to be the flag. There we go. So we're going to be using variables for this one. If you're not familiar, those are like the bright orange blocks. Whoops. And you could also record your voice and add that in there too. The seconds kind of get important when you start playing around. So your wait until will be a control block. And then that green block, if you were familiar, if you were with us on the last one, making sure I get the right one. Is right there with the equal sign. I think I'm going to have to I don't know if this is what I want to do. Can't remember. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Go away. I think I just want to rename it. There we go. There we go. And you can just duplicate those blocks. I'm just trying to get you guys to see where they come from. So if you wanted to use it some other time, you would know where to find it. But you can right click and duplicate those. What I can't remember is how I got Talker in there. Right there. There he is. There we go. I'll go back and change my words in just a second. Ah, didn't mean to do that. All right. So now I'm going to come over to my bat. Whoops. Hear the bird in my window chattering it up. Ash, get back up there. Fingers aren't working. All right. So then when you play it, you are looking for, they are going back and forth between the talkers. So pretty straightforward. So again, I think for more complex conversations, the variable route is easier to go. I think if you're doing something very simple, then I think the broadcast way is kind of a good way to do it because you can see the back and forth if the variables confuse you. So I am going to wait just a minute, and then I've got just a little bit to show you how to bring pictures in from like a Google search and trim them down and then make them go back and forth. I don't have long, but I can at least start it before I have to leave. So as soon as you guys are good, just throw it in the chat or unmute, and I will keep going. You're so quiet today. I'm going to go ahead and save this as conversation with variables. Thanks, Catherine. All right, so in the interest of time, I don't know if you guys are just listening along or just hanging out or what you're doing. All right, thank you, Manuela. I was going to say, if any of you guys were 8th graders, this next little part would be super beneficial because they just covered the Whiskey Rebellion and social studies. And oftentimes the 8th grade social studies team will do at Griffin, will do a scratch project on coding a debate. And then if you're at Central, you know, just maybe you can use it in one of your history classes with a teacher here or there. So We're not going to have time to completely fill it, but I did want you to show you how to bring in the characters from your Google search. So we're not going to do all of this. I just chose 2 characters from the Whiskey Rebellion. If you want to Google or go where it says background, click here, you could. Or if you are doing something in social studies right now and you're thinking, hey, I could use, I don't know, Sacagawea. I don't know what all you guys are covering. 6th grade, you might be doing something on Mesopotamia, or let's see, 7th grade, you guys do a lot in Greece and in the ancient countries over in Asia. So just kind of, you don't have to use the Whiskey Rebellion is what I'm getting at. So what you will do is, I'm going to start new. So I'm just going to do File and New. And so what we are going to do, we're not going to need Scratch here. I am just going to go over here. And so I picked George Washington and James McFarland. So I just Googled George Washington and then an image search. Okay, and when I found the one I wanted to use, I just right-clicked it and I did Save Image As. I'm not going to do it twice because I'm going to show you the ones I imported already. But don't do copy. I don't think that will work. You have to save the image. So let's just say I can do it again. Save Image As. I'm going to call this GW2. I'm going to save it to my desktop. If you're on a Chromebook, I don't think you can save it to the desktop. I think it'll save it to your drive. That you might have to pull it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and find my other character. Oh, I got my last name wrong. That is not him. That is Whiskey Rebellion. I must have something misspelled there. There we go. That's more like it. I'm going to use this guy because I was trying to pick where they would turn to each other. So that's why I'm going to use this image. So now I'm going to save this as James McFarland 2 because I already saved one. And so then when you come back over here, I'm going to kind of show this now. And you click on the Add a Sprite, you'll click the Upload button. And you'll have to find it in your folder. Let me know if this doesn't work on the Chromebook because I am kind of curious. And so let's just say I want my George Washington picture. There he is. And whoops, I want my James McFarland picture. What did I call him? JF2. This is when I couldn't get him to move earlier. And it may be because, there they go. So I want him to look at him. And they are a little big. Bring them on down a notch. Were you guys able to save to your Chromebook and import? I'm just curious. Trying to kind of get on the same size. All right, good enough. And then for your backdrop, you can do the exact same thing. I Googled Whiskey Rebellion backgrounds, and let's see where I put it. Right here, WR background. And then you just click open, and your background is there. So you might want them like, I don't know. You could do anything. I don't like that background now that I look at it. Go away. Delete. Not tickled with that. I might just leave it white. Let's see what they offer. What about just field? A happy field. A field at the MIT. That's not what I had in mind either. What about history? Oh, poo. Nothing? Let's just go with, put them in the swimming pool. A tree. We used woods twice today. I feel like we're just going to stick a wall behind them. Now, the other thing that's really cool that you can do is paint your own and create your own. I will probably do that in another session. So what they say you can do now, and I probably should have done first, is over here, if you take the eraser, there's a video at the end of this slide So if you wanted to see how this works in a project, you can watch it in a minute. But you just take the eraser and you trim out around their face. I'm using a mouse. Earlier, I like jack this all up. Okay, so once you've kind of made an outline, you get rid of everything else. And if you see over on the right there, all the blank space is going away. I mean, all the portrait kind of background. So I'm only going to do one character for the sake of time. Clean him up a little bit here. And then you have your character. And then you would go back. So then when it was time to code, you would go back to your blocks and code a conversation. Like I had envisioned if I had more time to code a conversation about the Whiskey Rebellion. So then you're getting your content, you're applying it to something that you're learning about. And it's kind of a neat way to show how two characters felt differently about two different things. He's a handsome looking feller. Let's see here. You can also do this, like if you wanted to do something like a Google Drawing, if you went to your Google Drive, and you would just need to download it as a JPEG. I believe it has to be a JPEG. I can't remember. So you could create your own drawing. Oh, nuts. I jacked him up. Command Z is your best friend when you do something like that. It'll undo it. And now he's all clean. And then you could code a debate between your two characters if you wanted to. You could also download your background and edit your background as well. So back over on the presentation, if you were interested in seeing more about the coding behind that, there's a video right here. It's like 12 minutes long, but you really can fast forward to like minute 4 because the beginning part I don't feel like you need, but I just threw that in there as well. Do you guys have any questions about any of that? I would love it if you guys could use it in your classroom, but I think teachers are just trying to get back into Plan B and figure everything out. And so I don't know that they're doing a lot of alternative projects, but if you have the opportunity, they give you a choice of how to present something and you want to use Scratch or use something like this, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll be glad to help you with your project and walking through it. I don't mind that at all. All your teachers know my information if you needed to contact me. Any questions, you quiet friends? You guys are all so quiet. No questions. Thanks, Jason. Don't forget, if you want to use this for your portfolio, don't forget to do the reflection for it. It's a good portfolio add-on. Bye, Catherine. I believe you were the winner of one of our challenges. If you're still there, I'll get, Catherine, are you coming back to school for Plan B or are you staying virtual? She's already gone. Never mind. Emanuela, did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. Well, have a good day.